Hello there, everyone. The Andrada here, and welcome back to episode 39 of I'm pretty sure it's 39, of our Project Architect 2 Let's Play series, where today, we're working on figuring out how do we automate mechanical crafters. I don't know if I've ever done it before, and if I have, it's been so long, I don't remember how to do this. So we're working on automating these, as you can see, and getting ourselves super fast rotation speed with the Create Crafts and Additions electric motors. Let's get into it. What do Alexander the Great and Winnie the Pooh have in common? Same middle name. Get it? Get it? Welcome back, my friends, to another wonderful day here in the world of the Andrada, where today we are chilling out over here in our machine room, doing a little bit of terraforming, I guess. I don't know if it's really terraforming by tearing down two walls, but yeah, we're terraforming. Where today we are going to work towards getting ourselves automated electric motors from Create Crafts and Additions. So then that way we can get all the other stuff that we want, which is tons and tons and tons of EMC, right? Hundreds and hundreds of billions of EMC is what our goal is here. So in order to do so, we need a couple things, right? We got to get a little bit of Create infrastructure set up, just a little bit of work with it, utilizing our windmill that we have up top, and then eventually we'll be able to get rid of that completely in favor of other things. But let's take a look and see what we need. So in order to make an electric motor, we need andesite alloy, easy enough, copper spools, iron rods, and capacitors, as well as brass sheets. But those are fairly simple. Those just go in a multi-servo press. In order to get the iron rods, we need a rolling mill from Create Crafts and Additions. Iron ingot in, iron rods out. Okay. In order to make our copper spools, we're going to need copper wire, and same process, except for this requires a sheet. Goes in, we get two out. And then for the capacitors, that's pretty easy. It's just a zinc sheet, so nothing too terribly complicated there. So those are the things that we need to get this going. I'd also like to go ahead and work on automating andesite casings with this recipe in a combiner, which we actually happen to have over here. So I can go ahead and grab this, and we can convert that over to a pattern provider instead of just, I think it's I don't think there's anything hooked up to this right now. It's just power, right? Yeah. So we'll go ahead and break this and place this, and now we have our combiner automated. So we can get a recipe for andesite casings, which is just some sort of log, and then andesite alloy, which is not too complicated. And while we're here, we can probably go ahead and get brass casings automated too, because that's brass and some sort of log. Now it is stripped, but we have the capability to get stripped logs through EMC, so it shouldn't be too difficult. So now if I ask for a casing and I ask for 64 andesite casings, andesite alloy, we obviously don't know, apparently. It's obviously apparent that we don't know it. Let's see. Andesite is EMC, and then iron nuggets are fine, I guess. Like, it's not that big of a deal. We could be cheaper, but why do that when we can do this? It's 2 iron nuggets and 2 andesite. I mean, honestly, does it really make a difference? Yes, because the induction smelter is slow. So we'll go ahead and set this recipe up, and then we should have iron nuggets available to us, right? Like, those are in a compacting drawer? Yeah. So now if we want andesite casings, we should be able to craft 64 of those, and that should come fairly quickly, other than the fact that it has to wait on this portion of things, which is not set up correctly. So let's go ahead and clear the config. We're going to have the input and the output be on the back, and you will auto-eject. Okay. Where's the bottleneck at then? Scheduled, available 64, stripped logs is 64. Okay, I apparently need... Honestly, this should work. Let's cancel the craft and then see if it'll trigger. Go. Hello? Pattern provider? Andesite casing, andesite alloy should go into a combiner. Yes. Why you don't want to work here, buddy old pal? Is it because it doesn't know which slot to put things in? Is that the issue here? This is, yeah, that's items. It should be able to input and output from the back. What if I set this to the red inputs, cancel the craft, and then request it again? Still nothing. Do I need to get a modular router here to pull from there and shove the items into here? I mean, that might be the case in order to get this to work. Because it's not it apparently is not wanting to put anything into the combiner. So, all right, let's get a modular router then. Ah, man, and then I have to get a chest. Oh, why did I do that? And also, why did I request andesite casings? That's not what I wanted. Okay, so I need a modular router. We need a polar module. And then I'm actually going to need 2 polar modules. I'm also going to need a sender module because we're going to want the outputs to get pulled back out. And then a chest. I feel like something's wrong here. Like this should work, but I'm just derping this up. I didn't think this part of the episode was going to be the complicated part at all. So if I request the andesite casings now, 64 of those, yes, we should have the logs and stuff end up in this chest, which we can't access because we can't open it, but that's fine. Modular router can go ahead and sit here. We can say from the chest, we're going to pull. So go ahead and do that, and that should pull. You are then going to send it into the combiner. However, I want to be specific on the facing. You can send to the front, right? Yes. So I'm going to say from the front. Okay. Why? Is this combiner not real? I can't. It's not letting me click on the. It actually doesn't let me. Oh, you know why? You're going to be that input on the right. Now it should. There we go. Okay. So the red is going to input on the right. Look, it's still not going. Oh, no, it is. Okay, cool. And then we need another. No. How's this going to work? Yeah, I guess this needs to be whitelisted for this. But what's going to happen when we request more than what it can handle? Ugh. And look, it's trying to send now, but it can't. A sender to the front for the extra channel, or the extra slot. But whitelisted for these. The problem is the buffer here is going to cause it to act up. Let's grab some, but maybe I guess we just have to make sure we only ever request, 64 of any of these at a time. I guess I don't know why this is being so complicated to automate. Like it should not have been this hard. Then we're going to need a polar, and we're going to want to pull. Goodness. Pull from the bottom. So then the blue is going to be the output, and then we'll pull from the bottom. And then send to the pattern provider. This is a massive chain of stuff going on here. But I only want you to send these things, so don't send anything other than what I tell you, please. Okay. And you, I guess, polar. I only want you to pull those, and I will have to do brass casings as well, but yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and cancel this craft, and if I asked for 36 of those, it should do it then. We'll go ahead and put this onto lock it in blocking mode, so that way it doesn't end up sending extras. We ended up with extra stripped spruce logs that should match. There. Okay. All right. There we go. Combiner automated. I don't know, again, why that was the most complicated machine that we've had to automate. It should have been very easy. The pattern provider did not accept the fact that could have both slots be pushed into. But it's working, and we're good. If I need brass casings, we'll have to deal with that, and I'll have to come set up the filters and everything for that. But whatever. We'll make it happen. What are you? You are producing. Oh, I forgot. You're producing awkward potion. Anyway, okay, so with that being done, we now have the combiner taken care of. That was like sidebar recipe that I needed. I didn't even necessarily care about that part. But anyway, let's go ahead and get a rolling mill and let's get some of these things. And again, we just need to make ourselves right at the moment, maybe 2 of these motors. And then after we get the 2, you require brass casings. All right, let me go get brass casings. We're going to need more mechanical crafters. All right, so since we have, let me go ahead. We're going to actually shut this system off here that we have. We do need it to run, but we don't need it to run at the moment, right? We can let it go ahead and chill, and we can reconfigure this a little bit for what we need. Okay, so get out of here, seat. Let's take a look and see what we need. EMC links and item transporters, we'll come back to those. The mechanical crafters we now have, great. We need to get our rolling mill and we need to get set up. I need a total of, I want to do 2 of these to start with. 1 to automate the rolling mill and then 1 to automate this process of creating these things, right? So I want 2 electric motors. So I'm going to need a total of 2 iron rods, which is just 1 ingot. That's not too bad. And then I'm going to need 4 copper wire. So I need 8 copper wire, which means I need 4 copper sheets, right? And that'll get me going, and then we won't have to worry. We can automate it easily. So I need 4 copper sheets, and I just need 1 iron ingot. And then I need to hook that up to my rolling mill. And with the rolling mill, we'll be able to do the thing. Now, how do you sit? Okay, cool. So the rolling mill, if I get a hopper, or, I need a funnel, don't I, to get this to go? Do I need belts for this? Get out of my way, get out of my way, get out of my way, get out of my way. You too. In my way, and I'm getting tired of it. Okay, so what if I just take my iron and I just put it in there? Okay, I can't. What if I throw it at it? No, I can't. What about a hopper? Can we hopper into this? Okay, yes, we can hopper into it, which means we can push into it, and then we can hopper out into a chest. I'm just trying to think of how can we automate this easily without having to go all crazy with create automating, right? Okay, so 2 iron rods. So if I put the sheets, is it going to pull the sheets through, though? No. Okay, so it does have an output, which is good. That's what I want to know. So we can automate it like this. Pattern provider can sit here. Honestly, we could have a modular router sit here with a polar. In a polar, and then we could have the polar pull from the output inventory and then send back to the pattern provider. Bada bing, bada boom, we have our rolling mill automated. But with that, we have the copper wire and stuff that we need for this, so we don't have to necessarily use this at the moment. What we do need to do is get all the things that we need. So the electric motor is going to require 1, 2, 3. It's going to require 12 brass sheets total for both of them. So 12 brass sheets. And that should be pretty quick. I upgraded our our mechanical or multi-servo press. I upgraded it with the max tier thingamadings. So that takes care of those. We're going to need copper spools. I'm pretty sure I taught the system how to make all this stuff, right? I need 6 of those, except I need to put the copper wire in. I didn't make enough copper wire. I also just put a pattern in here that I didn't intend to. Copper... It's 2. Oh, you know what? I needed 3 spools per. I wasn't accounting for that. Okay, so it's 24. So I need to do that 3 more times, right? So how many was that? 8. So I need 12 total. Let's go ahead and set our rolling mill back up. It's you. I guess I was a little bit too click happy. That's you, and then you. Speed that up. Clear up inventory while I do. There we go. Now we have 24. So now we can get the 6 copper spools that we need. Bam. That can just go into the inventory. Oh, no, it's not going to go into the inventory. Haha. Give me those iron rods back. And give me those. We're going to have to place these in the mechanical crafters for the moment. And then we're going to need capacitors, 2 of those, and then andesite alloy. So a capacitor, not those kind of capacitors. These ones, 2 of these. And 2 andesite alloy. Bam, bam. And we should be okay. Now I just got to get my mechanical crafter set up. So now I can take the rolling pin down. We can go ahead and set the mechanical crafters. Ooh, excuse me. Up. 4, 1, 2. Come on. And hopefully we have enough rotation. Yes. Okay, cool. Except for the fact that this has to be specific, right? It's 3 and then 5. So 1, 2, 3. And then I need 1 over here. And then 1 on top. So it's this guy needs to go up top. It is specific in its crafting. So that looks right? Yeah. So we have an andesite alloy. We can go ahead and put this up here. And then it's the copper, and then the brass sheets go around in the little wings. Okay. And then we have the copper sheets, or the copper spools. Excuse me. Okay. We need to get a... I think we can turn this off with a lever, right? Yeah, and that locks them up. Oh, nope, that kick-started it. Okay. Thank you. Can I lever you? Can I just do that? Thank you. All right, don't turn anything on. Yeah, just stop bothering me, okay? I'm trying to get this done. Okay, so this, and this. Then it was the sheets, right? It was this. Then it is the capacitor went down here. The iron rod went here. And then the andesite alloy went up top. I do want to change that to go to the bottom and just spit it out into the world. But you need to go over there, and then you need to go over there, and then you there. Everything is connected, and we'll all meet at that point. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and get this running again. So everything should all go. It should all meet there in the center and then kick out a motor. Good. That's what I wanted. And then with this motor, we can work on automating this, right? We don't have to necessarily use this anymore. We can go ahead and automate this process using our motor. Now, we don't have everything automated like the rolling pin, but we can go ahead and get one of these set up, and then we don't have to worry about more. So what do I want to do? How do I want to set this up? Or I guess the question is, where do I want to set this up? Do I want the motors to be produced up here, and then everything else can be produced elsewhere? My archimorphs, when I get those, like this could be our create automation room. I kind of like that, except for the archimorphs or the archimeat when we get to that. I think that's going to be okay. All right, so let's take a look at how these work. If we grab a point, we can go ahead and give it power. Bam. And we can say, hey, you are our motor. This is create motor point. Sure. On the output network. And then we'll see that this now has power and it is rotating. I believe it has a configuration that we can access to where we can make it go whoop, faster if we wanted to. Uses more power, of course. Uses 900, about 1,000 RF, it looks like. But it goes faster. And then we can utilize this to automate all of our stuff, right? We can go ahead and set this up there. Now it's going to run ridiculously fast if we go ahead and place these like so, and then this. And that, we should be able to go ahead and get everything angled correctly. So if I want it all to go in there, okay. That should be good. Now, here's the question. I've done this before. How do I make sure that the specific items go in the specific slots? That, I guess, is my problem. Without having to set up a modular router for every single one. I guess, wow, there's 12. I was going to say we could set up a sender and link it, a modular router. Modular router handles everything. which would still work technically. We could set up a modular router that has senders set, because some of these things are, in this case, sixcicated. So we could put, I don't know what sixcicated is, but we could put a distributor module in there. So I would need a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 senders. Yeah, honestly, that should work perfectly fine. Well, 1 distributor and then 5 senders. And then a distributor module. That's you. And then a router. And we're going to definitely want to get applied energistics up here for this. We don't have that yet, but it's going to end up dumping into a buffer chest anyway. So we'll have it just kind of chill here. And then all of the stuff will go inside of here. So this is all of the stuff that is required for this, right? 5 different items. So now we can go ahead and work on configuring this. So for the distributor module, that is going to be this. That is going to be the first distribution, right? So we can go ahead and set this up, let's say here, and that's going to distribute from there. We also need a polar module. Yeah, the polar module is going to pull from there. So anything that goes into there, it will pull. And then look, there it goes. It's sending the brass. One thing I want to do, because that's going to start like doing its thing, right? So let's get speed and stack upgrades. Granted, it can only put 1 at a time, but it'll make it be able to pull things faster. So that's good, because it's going to start crafting, right? That's what I don't want it to do. I'm actually going to go ahead and grab these. And I need to blacklist. Good idea. Good idea, me. And we're going to say, okay, this distributor, you're only allowing those. Okay, so that way nothing else can go into those slots. Okay, next we'll have a sender. This sender will handle the capacitor, right? That's what goes at the bottom. Yeah. So this is going to do the capacitor. So this can go here, and you're going to say, hey, whitelist the capacitor. So the only thing that you can send is the capacitor. And then same thing for everything else, right? We'll go ahead and do this. You're going to be a sender, and that's going to be the iron rod. We're going to need another distributor module for the copper, but that's the iron rod. Let's grab another distributor. You are going to do the copper pieces. So that was this, this, and this. Copper spools, whitelist. And then finally, we should just have the andesite alloy, right? And that's the last thing that needs to be automated. That's you. And then you go here, and then you are whitelisting andesite alloy. So in theory, if I put all of this stuff in, it should go into the right spots, yes, and start crafting up. What I need it to do is, no, it should always, yeah, always continue. So why aren't you sending? Why did only the iron rod go? Transfer out, transfer out. Always continue executing subsequent modules on this tick, regardless of whether this module did anything. Yeah, that should be working. You're whitelisting the brass sheets, which you have. So why are you getting jammed? It did 2 things. It did the andesite, but now it's jammed up on the brass sheets. Like it's stuck wanting those or that. Maybe, you know what? Is it trying to put all 3 in there? Let's go ahead and grab regulator augments. And maybe that's what the problem is it's trying to grab all of those. And it can't because it can only accept 1. So let's get a regulator augment, and we're going to say 1. No. If I put them in one at a time, it works. So what if I don't do the stack upgrades? You know what? Because it's trying to do a stack. Okay, so speed is fine. Stack is no-go. And I'll go ahead, since I made it, we can go ahead and put the regulator augment of one of each of those into its slots, but that should be okay. But we got another motor, and that was the goal, right? So now all I have to do is automate the motor and the rolling mill. So I need to get applied energistics up here. We can go ahead and honestly get rid of this whole setup here. Applied energistics up here, feeding into this chest, just like we have everything else. So give it a name. It'll feed into here, blocking mode. Don't craft until things are done. We'll go ahead and put another modular router, or even just a chest or a barrel here. And then our modular router over there can pull from this, right? So we can put that there, and we can grab a polar module. And so then the final thing that it does before it finishes is pulls everything that ends up in that chest back into its inventory, and then it'll send it back into the crafter when all is said and done. And yeah, that is Mechanical Crafter automated. I wish I had more of the things and was ready to go with all of that, but in between episodes, I'll get applied energistics up here. We're also going to work on automating the rolling mill, because we're going to need that, but that should be fairly simple. We saw how we can do that. We can utilize, we could utilize a modular router really if we wanted to, or just the hopper, push from a pattern provider into the hopper. The hopper can push into the rolling mill, and then on the outside, there's a thing that pushes into the pattern provider again, or hoppers that could be feeding back into the pattern providers. Modular router could handle it, and that's probably the way that we'll go. That way it's compact and nice and neat looking. But yeah, that is automated create motors. Now with those, next episode, we'll start automating the Archimedes and getting a bunch of those set up. But we need to get the rest of these going. So yeah, anyway, if you enjoyed today's episode, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Slight tutorial on how to use these mechanical crafters and automated. We're figuring out as we go live how to automate those. But those motors are great. Look at that. It's going so fast. When we get the Archimedes in there, it's going to be ridiculously quick. It's going to be insane. And then we can scale up and get even more. So, yeah, I'm excited to see how that works. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.